there's a reason for that. They're compassionate. People trust nurses more than any other profession. And our nurses have told us repeatedly, although they have a tender heart toward people who are advocates for this cause, that they have dire concerns about the health of the mother and the baby. I can say personally, my first child was a breech birth, umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. If it hadn't happened with a physician and a doctor, she would die. That's what they told us. She would die. I know there are some provisions in here for emergency plans and so forth, but if someone's out in the middle of who knows where, and these problems can arise so suddenly, that we're very concerned that sanctioning this as a profession, in my view, with very little accountability. A board that meets twice a year by email, how in the world are you going to police and discipline people who are not acting according to even the standards that are presented in the bill? So we oppose the bill because we are very, very concerned about the safety of mothers. We do support the right for a mother to have her child anywhere she wants to have it, home, at the lake, wherever they want to have it, and to have someone assist her. The problem is establishing a profession that confuses the citizens of Alabama and puts them in danger, because how many of you, before all this happened, if I'd said certified professional midwife, certified nurse midwife, would know that there's 8 years of educational difference. Just that word, nurse. So certified professional midwives are not educationally prepared to handle these kinds of emergencies. The normal things probably, but not the emergencies. So we have no
questions for Mr. Secretary?
Now I'm saying there are 30 states. They had the last speaker said there are 30 states where they're certified professional midwives. So we should have a lot of data on outcomes. Have there been any studies done to show whether outcomes are better or worse with a certified professional midwife?
There are a lot of studies about certified nurse midwives that they're very, very appropriate and adequate. And so I'm not as up to date on the certified professional midwives, but I can tell you that the qualifications are much, much less than a nurse midwife, and that by doing assessments and things that are presented in this bill on behalf of evaluating the mother and all of those kinds of things, there's really not the educational and medical experience. There's even the application of medication, which I don't really know what that means in this bill, but they're able to dispense medication to mother. We have nurse practitioners in the state of Alabama, unless they're in a hospital setting, have to have cooperative agreements with a physician. In this bill, these folks, bless their heart, do not have to have a cooperating relationship with anybody. So I'm not sure if in other states there is such a provision where there are cooperative relationships that are established by law. That might make a huge difference, but it's certainly not present in this bill, and I'm sorry, I don't have this.
Yeah, I would think that's something that we would need to know. And we've got 30 states where there's CPMs. There's enough data out there for us to be able to make an informed decision, and I'd really like to have that data as we make this decision. I don't think it's enough for either side to come up and give anecdotal stories or to say, I think it's a good idea or it's a bad idea. There's enough data out there for us to look at, and I'd appreciate anybody who can provide us with data that says, yes, CPMs have worked out, the outcomes have been the same as hospital, or no, they haven't worked out in other states, and the outcomes are worse with CPMs.
That's an excellent question.
We've heard a lot of horror stories from the midwives delivering and stuff.
Thankfully, they're not. As the young lady said, that 10 minutes, sometimes, we just celebrated Christmas not too long ago. Joseph did a good job. And so thankfully, in most cases, births are a natural occurrence.
Yeah, I mean, half my family is born and home, we
You
didn't
know,
have doctors out in the country.
Our
Thank you.
objective-
Thank you. It wasn't in the 20s,
Yeah.
and I had a birthday on Monday, and I was a midwife baby, okay?
It turns out right most of the time. Complications and when there are assessments and things like that, we'll do some research to try to get your answer. And thankfully, it worked out good for both of you guys. And
Well, it may explain a lot of things.
I made it here, if that's good or bad.
Jackson.